Now we're going to create the piston. Go into the XZ plane, and we're going to draw the basic outline of the piston. We're going to leave the top open, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to constrain all of our points, all of our lines to the origin. Now we're going to create a construction line that goes across the length of the top of the piston, all the way across. It should be 93 millimeters. Now we're going to use the circle tool that has a mouse in it and select both of our endpoints of the construction line and make our radius 189. Next, we're going to connect the top of the arc to the bottom of the piston to make it closed, and then constrain it just so it doesn't move anywhere, and then use the trim tool to remove all of the excess. Exit Sketcher and use the shaft command to rotate it just 180 degrees about the vertical axis. Next, we're going to go into the open part of the piston and go into Sketcher. We're going to create a rectangle that is 4 millimeters into the piston and 3 millimeters high. The outside of the rectangle is going to be coincident with the outside of the piston, and the bottom of the rectangle is going to be coincident with the inside of the piston, just so that it lines up. Now we're going to exit Sketcher and use the groove command, and we're going to choose our axis as the vertical axis, and choose reverse direction if it doesn't go in the right direction. And now we have our first groove. We're going to use the rectangular pattern to make the other 3. We need 4 total, so for instances, put 4, and they're going to be 5 millimeters spaced out. Make sure you choose the groove as your object pattern, and for your reference direction, choose the actual piston. And there's your 4 grooves. We're going to make another rectangle on the open part of the piston, but this time it's going to be 4 by 2. The outside of the rectangle is going to be coincident with the outside of the piston, and the top of the rectangle is going to be 7 millimeters away from the bottom of the piston. And now we're going to exit Sketcher and use the groove command again. 180 degrees. Make sure it's in the proper direction. Now there's all of your grooves. Next we're going to create a plane. That is 25 millimeters away from the XZ plane. We're going to go into Sketcher on that plane. We want to work on the other side, so just hit the normal to face button and it'll rotate it around. Create a circle and make the center of the circle 27 millimeters above the bottom of the piston. We want it to be in line with the vertical axis as well, so use the coincidence command. And then just make sure the radius, the diameter of the circle is 36 millimeters. Exit Sketcher, use the pad command, and pad that up to next. and it'll pat it up to the inside surface of the piston. We're going to create another plane next, and it's going to be 46.5 millimeters away from the XZ plane. So it's right on the edge of the piston. We're going to create a hole in that plane, but we want to make sure it's lined up with the circle we just created, so we're going to go to the other side and choose the point and the circle and make sure they're concentric. Go to an exit sketcher, and for type choose counterboard. The diameter for the counterboard is 36 millimeters, and it's going to go 4 millimeters deep. And then the rest of the hole is going to go up to surface, and for the surface make sure you pick the circle that we just made. And the diameter is 22 millimeters. Click OK, and there you have it. Our final step for this is just to mirror so we have a complete piston. So use the mirror command and select the open face of the piston and select OK, and there you go.